Quora is the best question and answer forum on the web. We bring fresh and interesting content every day. Subscribe not to miss out. This question has been going viral on Quora with thousands of views, and we also got a lot interesting answer from our user. Let's explore them. This is coming from Lela Vaughn, and he said, 6x9in, also known as Tekashi69, Tekashi, and Tekashi6x9in. When you look at this guy, he just looks like any other mainstream rapper who makes slightly controversial music. But if you go a little deeper, he has a very disturbing past. With over 10 criminal charges, 6x9in is not your average rapper. Pre-fame charges, he was arrested multiple times as a minor and before he got his big break. He served time for possession of heroin and assault charges. Child sex charges. In October 2015, 6x9in pleaded guilty to engaging in sexual acts with a child. He, along with another rapper, raped a 13-year-old girl and filmed it. Later, in a 2017 interview, he claimed that there was no sexual contact, that he didn't know she was a minor, and that he was 17 at the time. All of those claims can be easily disputed because he filmed the sexual contact. He had already pled guilty to child sex charges, so it's obvious he knew she was a minor, and his birth date shows that he was 18 at the time. He was given a plea deal that included passing his GED test, otherwise he would face 3 years prison. Surprise, surprise, he failed his GED test. Legal problems persisted and he was sentenced with 4 years probation and 1,000 public service hours. Choking at shopping mall. In July of 2018, he was arrested once again, this time for allegedly choking a 16-year-old girl at a shopping mall. The girl decided to not take legal action, so all charges were dropped. Shooting of Chief Keef. In summer 2018, the rapper Chief Keef was fired upon in New York. 6x9in was the predominant suspect because the two had a feud. He pleaded guilty to hiring someone to shoot Chief Keef. Murder conspiracy, robbery, and firearm arrest. Fall 2018 rolls around and 6x9in finds himself in court again. This time for conspiracy of murder, armed robbery, and possession of firearms. He and 2 other gang members were arrested. He served time in prison, where he got into multiple fights with rival gangs. 9 Trey Gang. 6x9in was part of an elaborate gang that was arrested for armed robbery, murder conspiracy, and possession of firearms. He was faced with a possible 47 years in jail, yet a plea deal was signed in which he had to testify against some of the 10 other members of the gang who already had criminal charges that were being looked into. This caused major media attention, with many people calling him a snitch. He was given a sentence of 2 years. Domestic violence. Eventually, he admitted to abusing his ex-girlfriend and mother to his child for over 7 years. I'll spare you the details, for they are rather gruesome. As of now, he is a free man, which irks me. He was released from prison and is on house arrest. Because of COVID-19 and his asthma condition, he has been allowed out of jail 6 months early. All of this, and some people still worship this man. Also, we received this from Marwa Said. I truly despise this person with all my heart. Now, if you haven't heard of her, you may as well be living under a rock. Let me explain for those of you who haven't heard of the things this disgusting person did. TWABUSA SELFHARMMENTIONSANDDRUGS+ALZOHOLMENTIONS. Now, Amber Heard is known for playing Mera in Aquaman. Johnny Depp, known for playing Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. Now getting on to the actual answer. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp started dating around 2012 and got privately married in 2015. Things were going well, right? That was until Heard filed for a divorce in 2016, claiming to have been physically abused by Depp, claiming it was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Heard claimed that Depp hit her in the face with a phone when she was filing the divorce, saying it left a bruise. Now, she showed evidence of a bruise, but here's the thing. Do bruises change places? I may not know much, but I can assure you bruises stay in the same place. Apparently, that was not the case for Heard. We can clearly see from the pictures above that the bruise did not stay in one place. We can all agree the bruise was fake. Clear evidence, right? Well, not enough apparently. Later, a year after Heard filed the divorce, 2017, it was finalized. Depp continued to have possession of some of his property like his cars. In 2018, Amber wrote an op-ed article for the Washington Post claiming she was abused. She never mentioned Depp's name in the article, but it's pretty clear she was talking about him. Later in 2019, Depp sued Heard for defamation on the Washington Post article. Rightfully so, it was for $50 million. During this lawsuit, Depp's lawyer had said the op-ed depended on the central premise that Heard was a domestic abuse victim and that Mr. Depp perpetrated domestic violence against her. Heard had thrown multiple claims of Depp abusing her and claimed to have leftover scars from when Depp allegedly dragged her through glass. Those are the scars she claims to be from glass. Yeah, do you think that looks like glass cuts? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Multiple people had claimed those look like self-harm scars, which I can confirm. They look nothing like glass cuts which someone else had made. Now that is how glass scars look like. Now going back to around 2015, a month after their marriage, Depp and Heard were in Australia. She went pretty crazy and starting verbally abusing Depp. Soon enough taking bottles and throwing them at him. The first one missed by a couple of inches. The second one she threw hit the counter his hand was on, shattering the bottle onto his finger. It was bad enough that he had to get the tip of his finger removed as the bone had shattered. Heard couldn't even remember when they got married as she explained they were arguing about their upcoming marriage. Miss, I don't know if you're some type of a time traveler or if you have amnesia, but you got married a month before this incident. Not to mention, Heard had burned Depp with a cigarette, leaving a mark. You can see it circled in red. That's the photo of Depp in the hospital. Now, this isn't the first time Depp had been in an incident like this. There are multiple audio clips of them both discussing the abuse. Heard even having complained how Depp would leave the room every time they argued, basically complaining how he didn't let her use Depp as her personal punching bag. Around the end of 2015, Heard had reported that Depp beat her after an argument, until she had a black eye and a split lip. However, the day after she was on and the makeup artist had claimed there were no blackies or split lip. Coincidence? Certainly not. Quick note on how much of a bad wife Heard was. She cheated on Depp with Elon Musk and James Franco. According to them, neither of the men saw any bruises on her when she was taking them up to Heard and Depp's penthouse. The fact there is so much evidence against Amber Heard, yet this is still going on. Johnny Depp is still suffering for something he didn't do. A mere accusation with no concrete proof was enough. Not to mention, all of Depp's ex claimed he showed no abusive behavior throughout their entire relationship, whereas Heard has a history of abusing her ex-girlfriends. The justice system need to get better. Number justice for Johnny Depp. Also sorry if it's a bit unorganized or something. I'm not that good at writing and organizing the sections and just that type of shit. Richard Johnson also said, a fine example of a disgusting celebrity is this actress, Saud Faris. Game of Thrones actress Saud Faris falsely accuses man of rape for walking past her. She was walking in the subway in England and a man walked past her going the other way. Both of his hands were occupied with bags and so forth. This wretched mutant of a woman accused the man of digitally raping her with his fingers as he walked past. That means sticking his fingers into her genitals. He was brought to trial because the British Crown Prosecution Service is run by social justice warriors. The Crown Prosecution Service actually altered the closed-circuit film of the event to make it seem possible that he had committed the crime. When people say that the police did crooked stuff to put them in jail, I used to roll my eyes. Not so much anymore. The police have a frightening amount of power, and an evil policeman or evil prosecutor can ruin your life. Thankfully, he was acquitted by a jury, after a year of fighting for his life. The malevolence and viciousness of this disgusting woman is mind-boggling. Imagine what kind of bugs you'd have to have crawling around in your brain to want an innocent man to spend 10 or 20 years in jail for a crime he did not commit. South Ferris deserves jail time. She did something evil to another person, and it can be proved by simply watching the video of the event. Evil plus proof equals time for punishment. But for some unfathomable reason, she can't even be publicly named by her victim, much less prosecuted. Why is that? Can you explain it? It makes zero sense, and it's a gross miscarriage of justice. Remember, people like her actually greatly harm true victims. False accusations by people like her make it possible for criminals to create an atmosphere of doubt. Pure evil. Toffee Blake said, "Let me present to you Lindsay Lohan." I'm sure many of us have seen Lindsay Lohan popping up in a few movies, such as Katie Heron in Mean Girls, or Hallie Park and Annie James in The Parent Trap, and although she was a decent actress, she is someone who definitely rubs me the wrong way. I don't despise Lindsay the most as she isn't the worst celebrity out there, but let me just list a couple of the more disagreeable issues. Defending Harvey Weinstein. Look, I don't care what you think, but Harvey Weinstein was repeatedly alleged of sexual misconductions by several women. He was found guilty, and there is no buts about it. He was sentenced to 23 years in prison for being a sex offender, and defending someone the likes of him goes too far across the line. Claiming women who speak out about sexual harassment look weak. Kind of self-explanatory. These women are finding the courage to speak out about something that has had a negative impact on them, and by falsely calling them weak is just disgusting. Wanting to fire waitresses for not wearing the same footwear. On Twitter, Lindsay Lohan posted a picture of two waitresses' shoes and captioned it with, "Wear the same shoes please or you're fired." Sure, I get it that it's her beach club, and she's in control, but why not just speak to the waitresses privately rather than humiliating them online? Accusing a migrant, homeless family of child trafficking. Whenever I see this video, I genuinely want to punch something. Thing is, why would you randomly start harassing a family on the street? If she wants to help, that's fine, but there's a proper way of doing it rather than chasing after them when they're clearly not interested and cannot understand her. What she was doing seemed like kidnapper behavior, not compassion. Trying to constantly pull the kid away from the mother was totally unnecessary as well. I'm glad she got punched. Lindsay Lohan has had a vast amount of problems with drug and alcohol addiction, drunk driving, kleptomania, bullying, and overall a lot of personal issues with relationships, friendships, and does occasionally still have it, but be as it may. I'm hoping she can bounce back as a better person even now. If she's willing to redeem herself, a lot of people are willing to forgive. Like coffee. Toffee. These are the top best answer we are able to get on the forum. Hope you enjoy them and learn something new. And don't forget to like and subscribe for the next video. Hope to see you in the next video.